Hey y'all, Coach Wendell. I wanted to share with you guys something called the Autoregulatory Progressive Resistance Exercise Method. It is a strength training method that I've used for myself personally, and I've just recently started using for some of the ladies in the gym to help them get stronger at the key compound movements. So that would be your squat, deadlift, bench press, overhead press. This is a great method to see progression in these lifts without sticking to like specific rep schemes or percentages each week, because a lot of times when it comes to lifting in the gym, specifically with those lifts, we typically have a mindset of like linear progression where it's like you come in, let's say the program calls for you to do 8 reps today at a specific weight, but you can't get nowhere near that number today, or you're not hitting those numbers because of various reasons. And a lot of times we don't take into account, our program doesn't take into account the nervous system when it comes to training. So oftentimes we think of training, we think of muscles, fat, weight, and trying to lift as much weight as possible, or just doing the exercise, whatever the exercise is. And we don't take into account the nervous system, and the nervous system kind of governs a lot of our progress in the gym, specifically if we're doing strength training. So you can come in one day and let's say you're deadlifting 405 pounds for 5 reps. And then the next time you come in, 375 feels like you only can get about 2 or 3 reps of that. And a lot of times that has to do with your nervous system, which is affected by sleep, stress. It could be maybe you got into an argument with your spouse that day and you're stressed out. You didn't recover well from the previous workout. It could be something you ate. It could be the time of day. It could just simply be your mood for that day. Like you're just mentally not into it that day, so you're just not locking in. So a lot of things play into the your nervous system response. So with this method, the first thing is we have a specific range that we're trying to hit for most of the time a specific goal. So APRE 3 would be more your strength range, where you're going more towards max strength. APRE 6 is your strength and hypertrophy, so that's kind of the in-between. And then APRE 10 is your hypertrophy muscular endurance range. And you can adjust these numbers slightly based on what you want to do. So you could do an APRE 5. You're still within that strength and hypertrophy range, but these are typically the specific ranges for this method that are followed. I like to start most of my clients off at this higher rep range because the load will be a little bit lighter, and that also allows them to get more practice with that lift without putting super heavy loads on them right away. And they just get a lot of practice, and also if you have a hypertrophy goal, you kind of get the best of both worlds with that. So how this works is, I'm gonna do a 6 APRE example here. You come into the gym and after you warm up or whatever, like your movement prep, if you do movement prep or mobility, whatever you do, the first 2 sets will be warm-up sets. So you would do 50% of that 6 rep max for 10. Starting off, you probably won't know what your 6 rep max is, so that first time you'll be trying to kind of figure out where exactly you need to be. But those first 2 sets will kind of give you a good feel for where you need to be at when you dive into your working set. So set 2, you will go at 75%, so you're going to slightly increase, and you're going to hit 10 reps there. Then we go into our working set. So normally, when you get a program, whether that's online or you're following somebody's program off social media, typically when they write out a program, they're just giving you the working set. So it'll be like 4 sets of 8 or 3 sets of 10. They're not giving you the warm-up sets, but you want to make sure you're doing some type of warm-up set or build-up sets to your working set so you can get the most out of your working sets. So now we enter those working sets. We have set 1 at 100% of our 6 rep max. So whatever that number is, so let's say it's 225 on the bench press. So you hit 225 for 6, and let's say you felt like you had 2 to 3 reps left in the tank that were really good form. So the next set, you're going to increase that by 5 to 10 pounds. So let's say you go up 10 pounds. So now you're at 235. You do another 6 reps. Let's say you felt like you had another 2 reps left in the tank. So that third set, you're going to increase another 10 pounds. So let's say you go up to 245. And now you're going to go to technical failure. So basically, you're going to go until your form breaks down or you're not able to fully push that weight through. And let's say you get 8 reps total. That last set, you're going to adjust another 10 pounds. So let's say you go up to 255. and now you're gonna go to technical failure again, and let's say you get 6. So the next time you start, or you come back to this, your 6 APRE for your bench press, your starting number for that working set is gonna be 255. And you'll adjust your warm-up sets off of that number. So you're 50%, you're 75%, and then go into that working set again. And then again, like I said, the next time you do it, let's say you start up with 255 and you hit your 6, but it's like, that's all I had. Like I just got that with really good form. You're gonna stay there for that next set. Let's say you get it again, but you just get it. And then now you're gonna go to set 3 again at that 255, and you're gonna go to technical failure. And let's say you just got 5 reps because now you got some accumulative fatigue after the first 2 sets. So now you're gonna drop that weight down by about 5 pounds, and you're gonna go again. Let's say you hit 6. So now you're gonna stay at that weight, and then the following time you come in, that's where you're gonna start. And let's say now the third time of you doing this, you start off now, let's say you're at 250 because you dropped the weight down by 5 pounds. That's 6 reps. Let's say you felt great. You felt like you had about 3 reps left in the tank. You adjust another 10 pounds. So now you're at 260. Let's say you hit that 260 for 6 because you're feeling real great that day. You adjust another 5 pounds. So let's say you go up to 265 and you go to technical failure. And let's say you smoke that for 8. Now you're going to go up another 10 pounds. So now you're at 275. And let's say you just get 6 reps of that. So now that's going to be your new 6 rep max for that next time you come in. So that'll be your 4th time. And as you can see, you're adjusting based off of that day. So the beauty of this is like, if you have a day where you feel absolutely great, you're going to increase that weight, you're going to go for it. And if you have days where you're not really feeling it, or it's not, the weight's really not moving, you can adjust down. And so it just allows you to adjust in real time without having to stick to strict percentages or numbers. And you may not necessarily feel great, or you're trying to force reps with bad form. So, and also the beauty of this is you can periodize this in whatever way you want. So let's say you're starting off and you're new to these lifts. You would start off at APR 10. You would stick to that for about 4 to 6 weeks. And then you would adjust, and now you would go into a strength hypertrophy where now we're moving more towards strength. You do that for another 4 to 6 weeks, and then you go into strength. And now we're seeing some type of progression, but we're also seeing how strong we're getting. You also can do this in the opposite way, which I think is great if you have some really good lifting experience. You start off with APR 3, and now you're really working on that neural drive and really getting that nervous system primed and really putting on some strength. So now when you start moving towards hypertrophy, now you can lift heavier loads, which is higher volume, which would increase muscle mass, or potentially increase muscle mass, because obviously diet and a lot of stuff will play into that. And then you come down to your APRE 10, and as you can see, you can kind of play around with this however you want to structure this in the program. But like I said, the beauty of this is it gives you some type of structure and system that you can follow to improve those lifts, because a lot of times your improvements are not going to work linearly. Now, if you're a beginner, you may see that like the numbers kind of jump up faster because your technique just gets better and you get stronger because you're new to those lifts. But over time, this just gives you a strategic way to improve those things. So give this a try, APRE method. Let me know how it goes. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me. I'm always open to helping if you're not sure where to start. So give it a try. Get some.